one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it because you can.
From the Chronicle Telegram at chroniclet.com, we get this story out of Ohio, where Elyria Police Chief William Bill Pelko was suspended without pay for 2 days last week as discipline stemming from the department's concerning lack of response to possible officer misconduct during an arrest in 2023. He's going to make it up in overtime. 2-day suspension. On May 11th of 2023, 3 Elyria police officers entered the Garvin Avenue home of Raul Ortiz without a warrant before grabbing, tasering, and arresting him. All charges against Ortiz and his mother, Deborah Fusick, who was also there that day, were eventually dropped, and they have since sued the city, the police department, and the officers in federal court. Now that case is still pending, and no officers were disciplined for their actions that day until 15 months after the incident, after Ortiz's story and looming lawsuit were covered by local media. And therein lies the importance of what I do here, is bringing it to the light. You hear that? No actions were taken against the officers until the local media covered it. And then they were like, whoa, whoa. The public's like, what's going on? Really? These cops did that? Now they have to do something. Because now the public, the mayor, he's got constituents. So that's why it's important to look at these stories and then bring them to social media, even YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And so people in that community can go, oh, I didn't know that. That happened in our own police department here. Safety Service Director Chris Pianowski said that Pelko was suspended on September 25th and 26th without pay as discipline for the department's delayed response, reviewing and responding to the Ortiz arrest. City officials did not mention Pelko's suspension until questioned by a Chronicle Telegram reporter on Friday. Pianowski, the director, delivered a letter to Pelko on September 20th outlining the discipline and stating that Pelko did not initiate review of the officer's action until directed to do so by Pianowski on May 3rd of this year. Quote, "You have stated to me that you had concerns about the officer's actions during this incident and that other leaders at the Elyria Police Department had expressed their concerns to you." Pianowski goes on, "You reviewed the body cams and reports, but you took no official action to review your officer's conduct until I directed you to do so. In this case, I find that your inaction during a time of responsibility is very concerning." In August, Officer Paige Mitchell was suspended without pay for 30 days, and Officer Colty Hirsch was suspended without pay for 3 days. In his disciplinary report on Mitchell and Hirsch, Pelko recommended that Hirsch be suspended for 30 days without pay and that Mitchell be terminated by the police department. Pelko said in his report that Hirsch and Mitchell had not been following their training when Mitchell instructed an ex-girlfriend of Ortiz's to kick down his door to access the home. Officers then followed the woman into the home despite Ortiz's protests and arrested him. Fusick, his mother, was also arrested outside the house. Now, according to disciplinary documents, Mitchell argued that she believed the ex-girlfriend to be a legal resident of the home, which would mean she could have kicked down the door and invited the officers in. How sweet. Come in, guys. Another officer, Chris Lewis, participated in the arrest of Ortiz, but was not disciplined because he was in training under Mitchell at the time. He was, however, named as a defendant in the lawsuit from Ortiz and Fusick. Now, according to the letter, Pianowski and Pelko met multiple times to discuss the incident after Pianowski initiated the review, in which Pelko said he had concerns about the conduct of his officers during the Ortiz arrest. The report said that one of the city's assistant law directors advised Pelko to allow the legal process against Ortiz and Fusick to play out before investigating. Quote, the criminal case was dismissed sometime in November of 2023, and you still took no action to formally review the actions of your officers who responded to this incident, says Pianowski. He goes on, you did order an internal investigation into officers' allegations regarding training, but not to the actions of the officers involved in this incident. According to the report, Pelko did discuss the case with members of the previous administration of Mayor Frank Whitfield, but did not inform Mayor Kevin Brubaker's administration of it when Brubaker took office in January of this year. Quote, to my knowledge, at no time did you hold a substantive meeting with either administration about this incident or raise the proper alarm about the potential seriousness of the situation, which further compounds the fact that you took no action to formally review the actions of your officers, said Pianowski. Now, Brubaker, that's Mayor Brubaker, and Chief Pelko did not return requests for comment made on Friday. They're not going to. They're not going to, guys. Stop trying to get comments from these people. They're not going to call you back. Yeah, hey, you want me to tell you what happened? But there's so many questions here. The biggest thing is the suspensions. I mean, 3-day suspension, 2-day suspension. Come on. They're going to get it back in overtime. He's going to do 4 days of overtime, and boom, he made a profit off his suspension. The chief should be gone. He should be terminated. And maybe I'm being too harsh. Let me know. But in my humble opinion, I think the chief should be gone. How many other officers have screwed up in his department and he kind of went, yeah. But again, hear what they said. It was when the local media covered this incident that all of a sudden now the mayor and the police safety director goes, hey, we need to do something. Hold on, get that chief in here. What was this story? When did that happen? And granted, maybe Mayor Brubaker didn't know it happened because remember, he took over in January. But that's why I do what I do. Bringing it up, and maybe the local people in the communities of these stories I do can go, I didn't know that. And I've actually had that, by the way. I've had people in the comment section go, I live like 20 miles from there. I didn't know this happened. I've had people tell me that. Well, now you know. And now you and your neighbors can go down to the police station and go, hey, let's protest.